Oh, happy day. I send my warmest greetings to the forever family of the Essence International community. This is your brother Zun, SRxun S. If you want to get all official like. And I am really impressed to share about the thought that sacrifice is crucial to having blessed feet. Before I get started, let me ask you a rhetorical question. I'm curious to know how you would rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10. 10 being most positive, 1 being not so much. On how you would consider how well you handle opposition, especially in the way of violent opposition. I'm gonna share mine out loud and say I don't believe it's that well. I would say it's truly under 5, below average. Maybe I would say 3. The first thought was 2, but a 3. Maybe I'll go to 2 because it's not even steady. I feel like there's times where I do great, and there's times I don't. And I believe the times I don't outweigh the times I do. But today's treatment, especially verses 17, 23, 29, 35, 41, 47, 53, 59, 65, 71, 77, and 83. Is God talking to me and offering the help and assistance I need like he always does? In these portions of the treatment, it's really speaking of the same thing. And it's ultimately what each chief priest was responsible for giving, specifically for the sacrifice of peace offerings. And that phrase right there, the sacrifice of peace, really stuck out to me. And what it was saying and what it is saying to me is to walk this way. And I spoke earlier of having blessed feet, meaning that blessed are the feet of those that walk in peace. And so to walk that way, it takes sacrifice. There are things that must be sacrificed in order to have blessed feet, to walk in a blessed way, or in the blessed way. Of course, reading through it, just right there with that initial thought, there were so many things that are possible and not possible. And there was just so many things, so many questions, and I didn't really know what direction to go in. Until verse 89. And this is where the main idea for today's share is. Before I share that, what came to mind was a couple real life examples that I'm using to help enforce and teach and guide me along this peaceful way. One of them is Martin Luther King. It could not have been easy in the civil rights movement. Being just discriminated against in such a way. I talk about violent opposition. That truly was most violent opposition. Lives were in danger. And the thing was, it could come from anywhere and everywhere. Gandhi is another one that comes to mind. But again, they, in my viewpoint, were so powerful because they walked the blessed way. Peaceful. Going back to the main idea, God brings me to verse 89 again. And when God was speaking to Moses, it was from above the mercy seat. And right here, when I heard God saying this to me, it automatically gave me a direction and a focal point. I knew where I wanted to be, where I want to go, how I want to live. That 10 on the scale is the way of peace. Powerfully lives changing. I pluralized life because, as we see in the examples of Jesus Christ and Gandhi and MLK and probably so many others I don't know about that followed the pattern of Christ, by doing so and walking in the way of peace, it breaks the devil's opposition down into pieces and sets lives free on so many levels. And so 89 gave me the starting point. Look to the place above mercy. For God's saying, that's where I am. I'm going to talk to you from the place above mercy. It was mercy and is mercy and grace that brought salvation, that gives me life eternally, renewed daily, grants me forgiveness, etc., etc., etc. And so I say, Lord, what does that look like? And God refers me to his face. He says, look at my face. When they talked about me and they said these things and they did these things, which he allowed, that in itself is merciful. I'm over here like, okay, I got to stay on guard. And, when somebody comes against me, I got to know the right things to say. And I got to move the right way and do the right things and so on and so forth. And God was like, the place above mercy is I allowed opposition to come my way. Now, As I speak here, it is a very foreign concept to me. This idea is just being introduced, and I still got a lot of homework and field work and everything else that goes in the walk. So a lot more steps I would imagine to go to get this, at least a better grasp on this requirement for everyone. As the supporting text shows, the same thing was required of all of the chief priests. And I believe it's God being no respecter of persons. He requires blessed feet of his people. Because walking in the way of peace, walking in the way of truth, walking in the way of light is blessed. So I'm going to do my best. Well, Lord, I'm going to rely on you to take me far beyond my best in order to achieve a mind that is set on a place above mercy, so that my life will be lived in a place of peace. Caption this.